Hey, Roy here, and thanks for tuning into our Easy Liner YouTube Tech Tips page. On this video, we'll cover paint loading with low pressure pumps to load either totes or tanks, as well as hitting on some tips and tricks. Let's go take a closer look. All right, now we're going to prep to load the paint. First thing we're going to do is remove the cap out of the cam lock. We're going to inspect to make sure our gasket's still in place, as well as there's no debris that can be sucked in through the paint pump. A little trick here is to dangle over the cap as to not get this all full of paint when you remove your hose after loading. After that, just as simple as getting the hose hooked up to the truck, as well as the other end, get it hooked up either to your tote and or if you are using stingers to suck out of a drum, or if you are sucking out of the top of a tote. All right, once we have the hose all connected up, we want to verify that we open up the valve on the bottom of the tote or whatever you're sucking paint out of. Next, we want to open up this valve for loading. We're going to come over here to our three-way valve. Make sure it's in the load position. Want to make sure our valves are in the open position to supply paint up to the tote and or tank. Once we get up top, we want to make sure that we can vent air out of the tote and or tank. Either pop your hatch lid on the tank or make sure you have a way for air to escape on top of the tote. After that, double check that the valve at the bottom of the tote and or tank is in the open position. We can then come back down here, open up our air supply to our low pressure pump to commence the flow of paint to load your truck. All right, now that we have everything hooked up and we're loading our paint, just a quick reminder, what we like to have for our tanks and our totes is we have a 4 to 6 inch splash zone on top of our tanks. We don't like you to overfill them. Gives the tank just a nice little breatheway. After we've got our tanks fully loaded, then let's go ahead and shut our tank lids, put our over center clamp back on, make sure that's all good to go. Make sure you've sealed up a tote, the correct breathers in there, so that way it allows air to flow back into the tank as paint flows out of the tank. Little quick tidbit for you is to shut your low pressure pump off, unhook your hose from your tote, shut your ball valve off on your tote, unhook that, pull it off, start your low pressure pump on. It's going to suck the remainder paint out of the hose. We're going to then shut the supply off for your paint pump. Shut your ball valve here as well. Gonna pull this off, and it's nice to always have some garden hose nearby. That way you can rinse out your hose, get it all nice and clean, as well as rinse out your cam lock, make sure that's not getting some paint built up in there. And another easy thing to do is to just connect your hose back to itself to keep air from getting in there to solidify any paint. With that, don't forget to turn your valve to the charge position, and you should be all ready to go for paint.